NAMI saved my life. NAMI saved my family because my son got very, very ill. And the original title of my book was called To Hell and Halfway Back. And the hell was not knowing what was wrong. He kept changing. He kept doing weird things. She was asking me, so how you been since you were 18 years old? And we started talking, and I told her about my son, and she started tearing up. Well, here's a person who's in her 50s, had a mother that was bipolar, had a father who was depressed, had a sister who's bipolar and OCD, and has never, ever told anybody in her life. And you know, there's a lot of people walking around who are embarrassed to say it. And somebody once said to me that the real secret to happiness is lower your expectations and raise your gratitude. Kind of simple. We don't need a 400-page book to tell us that, right? But when you think about it, some of our unhappiness comes from having expectations that are too high of spouses, of friends. Don't you know somebody who goes, oh, my kids only call me once a week, instead of, I'm so lucky, my kids call me once a week. Depends on how you look at things. So what you learn as the relative of someone with mental illness is to make your expectations realistic, but you also always hope. I spent so many years feeling inadequate as a mother because my children weren't perfect. Wondering what I did wrong, wondering what I could have done different, and I spent a lot of years, I'll be real honest with you, hating my son before I understood what was wrong. Why won't he just snap out of it? Why won't he just learn the lesson? Why can't he keep a job? Why isn't he earning money at this point? You know, and when I learned through education, I now have such respect for my son, because part of that education was beginning to see things through his eyes, through the fear in this poem. And it showed me that my son is still in there, which is why I call the book now Ben Behind His Voices, because he's always still been in there. Even when he was in the emergency room waiting to be admitted and was lost in psychosis, an elderly woman was coughing a few chairs down, and he like broke out of his trance, and he looked at her and says, excuse me, ma'am, are you all right? And she said, yes, son, I'm fine. And then he went back to his psychosis. But I knew he was in there because he was kind enough to break away and see to someone else. So he wrote me this poem, and I will read you parts of it. For Mom. She stands unified to defend her smile. She's needed by her children who grow as she watches. Her smile can heal any pain. She's atop my mountain as I'm below. She pulls me up to help me grow. I'll let her help, for now I know that often some need help to glow. And as I shine, I think of her being the railing in the stairwell to help me help myself up a mountain. And I love her for it. Happy Mother's Day. Love her. The image of just being there, as you are, I'm sure, to just be the support for my child as he pulls himself up the stairs is an image that has stayed with me. And I couldn't do that if I hadn't taken care of myself by getting support, education, finding a way to acceptance, respect and resilience, learning communication skills, and finding the humor and continuing to hope. I wish for all of these things for my son as well. He will find them in his own time. I'll be the railing on the staircase, but there is